stinks. Kind of reminds me of like...
Another reason why those helmets shouldn't be so easy to take off.
What mission? You dropped off the grid. My squad was scattered.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
Gross.
And that?
For coming back.
Nothing more romantic than kissing a man covered in bug guts.
Can I smooch the engineer?
You did good, rookie. No doubt. We're not out of this yet.
I think the engineer deserves a smooch.
Honestly, Bungie are cowards for not letting us romance the engineer.
He's got a cute little snout, like a little snake.
Yeah?
Makes dolphin whale noises. Hey, it's daytime.
Yeah. Time passed while we were underground.
Master Chief should be coming back from the Ark, from the High Charity, at any point right now. Because it was daytime when that happened, right?
Yep. Well, the thing is that they were gone for an indeterminate amount of time in Halo 2, so... Like, it could have been a day, it could have been a week.
Flank the watchtower, Cooper. Take it out.
That's fair. I mean, as we all know, Halo as a series has a very loose, open relationship with the concept of time.
And distance.
Hold on, Skull, I got this.
I see.
He's trying to trap us.
So I will say that, you know, I was trying to piece together part of the story on my own, right? I knew nothing about this game going in. From people talking about it, I had gleaned that the engineers were important. And
Yes.
I was thinking that, like, oh, it's going to turn out that the superintendent is run by an engineer. And it's been here for years.
That's the last time.
Well...
Captain, let's move.
They come very close to doing that, don't they?
They do.
Fastest way out of the city.
But, I'm glad that they avoided that. Because, good lord, that would have been painful.
It
Especially
really
when,
have.
despite the dialogue writing, the story has been pretty inoffensive so far.
All the shooting,
Yeah.
it's frightened.
Want me to give it a little push?
Also, this is as close as the series comes to being character-driven, IMO.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could make an argument for Reach, but I
Oh,
don't know,
no,
no one
Reach
in your
is-
squad really gets to be a character.
Yeah, no, the biggest issue with Reach is that it's not 3 times longer than it is.
Like, I feel like we know more about the ODST squad than we do about fucking Cat.
This way. Should be an elevator right through here.
Or,
Well, we know a lot about Kat. She's very good at identifying plasma damage. She likes the color blue.
Sit tight.
We'll talk about Reach when we get there. No, I mean, I agree. These ODST fellows have been
we're all set. Hit it, rookie.
a pretty reasonable source of information about themselves.
Yeah.
Reach is definitely more event-driven. It is not supposed to be a drama about these characters. It's about them doing what they do. It's not about them.
And you waited until now to tell me that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was a little busy making sure Perfume over here didn't take around and blow us all up.
Eddie Buck, always thinking with his gun. You haven't changed one bit.
Me? What about you? Oh, so full of big Oni secrets, couldn't even give a guy a yes or no answer.
That's not fair.
Oh, you got that right.
I never
Not the
thought
time,
I'd
guys.
See you again.
Yeah? Well, here I am.
Rock you like a hurricane?
We need to move, now. Were you too busy to plan our exit?
I stole a Phantom, yes, thank you. I hid it in the shipyards down the highway. But I only have room for 2, so that thing's gonna have to sit on your lap.
The engineer. Where did it go?
love him.
Keep me covered. And try to keep up.
With an elephant, you try to keep up with
Bye, bye.
us on
You ever
foot.
fought for a woman?
No.
Make sure she's got balls.
I mean, like, sure. I'm 100% down with that philosophy.
Buck
Take a
solves
wheel, rookie. All right,
transphobia.
shotgun.
Sorry, Buck. You're gonna have to figure something else out.
Shotgun. Hey, Captain? Pick a lane.
A little crowded in here. The engineer's doing something with the control circuit. Hey! Watch me flip that!
Gotta be
Oh,
kidding me.
that's a unique variant of the elephant
doing
too,
the best
because it's a
I
garbage
can.
truck.
Just stay out of
Huh.
our way!
They use elephants as garbage trucks in Mombasa.
Oh, that's cute. They use
It is.
elephants as garbage trucks and pelicans as police helicopters.
I mean, honestly, a pelican would be an awesome police unit, like, to have.
Covenant
You know,
has to shut these doors.
If
Give the engineer a second to override the lock.
if we weren't surrounded by them, I'd legitimately ask if there were any non-military vehicles in the Halo universe. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Oh,
I
there's a-
flipped that because I.
Transport hog.
Yeah. I mean, we could take it if you really
I
want.
don't want to, but I think it's neat that there's a transport hog
Yeah.
here.
I believe you can find a Gauss hog somewhere along this highway. Just running them
Whoa,
over.
What just happened?
I think the engineer found a way to extend its shield. Send a current to the outer plating. I don't know how strong the shields are, so stay close.
Don't worry, we got you covered.
There's something right over there.
Get ready, more of them.
Don't know if this is a Gauss hog or not. Flip it.
Nope, transport hog.
Another transport hog. That's fine. Buck, you could be shooting more, I feel. Up ahead. That's better.
Yeah, generally. So we get another cool vehicle rampage section. I'm down.
So here's my question to you, right, in these closing moments. Especially, like, it's probably not the fairest comparison, but compared to Halo 3, how do you feel about the ODST campaign?
We're all
It
heading to
definitely.
Slip Space Crater.
Hold on.
Covenant dig site north of the city.
It definitely feels like it has more of an identity. Like,
Yeah.
again, Halo 3, more than half of it is just retreading the exact same objectives you had in Halo 2.
Yeah.
Like, the same narrative beats, the same locations, almost, or at least in essence. And then the ending is just such a horrible letdown
Yeah.
of contrivance and hand-waving.
And without talking too much about the plots of the other games, where do you feel this stacks up compared to the rest of the series?
I say that it still requires, some context given by Halo 2, but I like Halo 2,
Yeah.
so I don't
I
think
honestly
it's...
think as like a follow-up to Halo 2, this is a lot better than Halo 3.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Again, I do not like Halo 3 at
Yeah.
all.
I think writing-wise, in terms of like minute-to-minute dialogue, reach is a lot better. But I think
Sure.
in terms of overall like story structure, I like ODST a lot more. 2 is still probably the winner in the series, and it's not necessarily the best story either. But I feel like
No.
overall it gets points that the other games don't.
Yeah, like you said, it tries new things, and that is very respectable.
Yeah.
In a series where, again, Halo 3 tried nothing new.
Yeah.
I definitely... The non-linear narrative I probably could have done without, like... There's probably a better way to have told this story that doesn't involve weird, like, find the clue. I don't know, it felt unnecessary at best.
It is, but that's the non-linear part of it, the finding, that's a result of not necessarily thinking it's the ideal way to tell the story, and more that they wanted to do an open game, right?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I get it.
So,
I just feel like it being
like,
open is cool. It doesn't go anywhere because of it.
No.
Like, it's not in service of any... It's a lot like Halo 1. Like, Halo 1 has these wide open areas, but...
there it is.
They don't... There's nothing in them. There's just, like... You have this mile-wide area, and you still enter and exit through a shoulder-width checkpoint.
Well, that's the thing.
Right,
you are correct in that regard. I feel that the supply caches and the audio tracks were an attempt to sort of justify the open area.
Sure, and incentivize players to explore. I just feel like... I don't know.
See, it's funny. See, I'm super interested in Halo Infinite because I wanted to see this game built off of, right? I was hoping Reach would be a sequel to this. It wasn't. It was still good, but it was not a sequel to this, right? In terms of, like, gameplay design and elements, not necessarily story, obviously.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I was hoping Reach would have very large battlefields, and you would have to sort of, like, go around and sort of put out fires. But, unfortunately, no, we didn't quite get that.
Yeah, Reach is definitely more just, like, traditionally linear.
Yes.
And your comment about Halo Infinite... Halo Infinite looks like it's going to play like Crisis 1, which is a gameplay model I am honestly mad that not enough people did.
Right?
Because if you're not familiar, people watching,
I see it.
Crisis 1...
Just keep driving. It hasn't spotted us.
Crisis 1 has... Like, it's a linear narrative. It's not an open-world game. But it puts you, by mission, into these incredibly large sections of the island the game takes place on. And, like, you have boundaries, and they're usually defined by, like, military checkpoints, or water, or cliffs, or something. But your actual in-game...
How did you make it down this highway in one piece?
There weren't as many Covenant last night.
Your in-game travel space is, like...
I see a Scorpion tank up ahead. We need the
really
extra firepower.
large. Like, at one point, your mission in Crisis is to assault the docks. And the docks are, like, 3 square miles.
Concentrate on driving. I got this.
And I do hope that Infinite is something similar. Because it allows for the same thing that people like with open world, with like, oh, approach this anyway, but you still get proper pacing that an open world game has never had.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I really would have liked to see this built off of, because I think that they could have definitely approached something similar to that if they'd have just expounded on this. I actually even like the idea of a story told, like, out of order as you're trying to figure out what happened after the fact. This game doesn't necessarily succeed in doing that. It could have easily just been a string of linear missions. But, hey, it tried something different.
Sure.
And that's why I like it. The story's not exactly a shining beacon of writing, but I'll hold it up as, again, the Halo writing team dared to do just a little more than they normally do.
Oh, for sure. And I will say, the story, you know, maybe not even the most compelling thing, because put together, what is it? It's... we dropped, got separated, had to find each other, and then learned about an alien. It's like, okay, there's not really anything to comment on there. But
not much of a mystery.
Yeah.
At the size of that thing.
But you know what? Like you said, it's something different. It's far sight better than the ever-shifting goalposts of Halo 1 and 3. And just never knowing what your actual goal is.
Well, that's the thing. I think a point in the story's favor over the rest of the series is that it is very local and small, and like you can wrap your head around it. Not that the other games are hard to understand, but more that the stakes are very, like, they ramp up very quickly and you lose scale.
Yeah.
Whereas the scale is very small here, right? And I always prefer that kind of story to something with grand sweeping stakes.
Absolutely.
Other people will try to convince you, no, it's epic, saving the fate of the universe. It's like, man, I don't care about the universe.
on the other side of the city.
It's a big place. You could destroy half of it and there'd still be billions upon billions of, like, systems with things happening in them.
Uh-huh. So yeah, there's the Covenant thing. Oh, there's our little... We were across that bridge earlier.
Yep.
So yeah, the dig site is on the other side of the city, one of them said.
Yep.
Does that mean that the Covenant were never actually interested in whatever was below the superintendent room?
Well, we have what was below the superintendent room.
No,
We have their
because
defector.
does that mean he was here when... Because the girl's dad said the seismic survey had uncovered something beneath the site of the...
No, they're gonna burn this city and then collapse the
place.
whole planet. Cooperative bastards! This is like Reach all over again.
Hey, he mentioned Reach.
Ah.
Do this, Buck.
But anyway,
So, like, are we
yeah.
supposed to believe that the arc portal generator is just so large?
Change your plan.
Yes, I believe ultimately that's what you're meant to infer from it.
Crowded, Gunny. There's no other way. Covenant just waits at the highway. We're gonna keep rolling as far
Or
as we
maybe
can.
there was
Get
going
me
to,
airborne.
maybe
Line of
like there
advantage
was
to my
more
feet.
to it and the Covenant just ignored it in favor of going straight to
Whatever
the
you
arc.
do,
Like,
Stay clear of that carrier.
you could come up with a bunch of different answers.
Yeah, I'm just not sure if any of them are really satisfactory.
No, not really.
And maybe what was below that he found in the seismic survey was explained in any audio logs we maybe missed.
Yeah, we might have to go
But-
take a look at those later, like elsewhere.
Scarab! Look out! This one's onto us!
We're going too fast. I can't stop.
Careful, you're gonna get rammed.
I'm stuck on a car.
America, come to me!
Asset. It's all right.
Screw the aliens, what about you?
Okay.
Guess it doesn't care about us anymore.
Garbage troops had it.
Well, if it can't get to us.
Take the next off-ramp. I see a building, north side of the highway. We'll hold up there, wait for evac.
So this little down ramp here. Unfortunately.
I won't waste everybody's time.
Veronica, wait here. Rookie, let's secure that building.
See, I would have loved if going forward they had done more like this.
Go with Buck, Trooper. We'll be
Like
okay.
we got Reach, right? And I do quite like Reach, but like more just individual stories about oh, here's just some ODST guys, right?
Sure.
Here's some recon team for the UNSC. Like, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I think, honestly...
Mickey, what's your ETA?
Hold on.
Had to reroute, Gunny. The whole damn city's on fire.
Trooper, I have a Tier 1 asset and a whole bunch of Covenant that want it dead. Whatever you gotta do, step on it.
Yes, ma'am.
I think, I've said this before, Halo is a lot like Star Wars, in that it is a series most defined by the potential it wastes.
Yes, absolutely.
It focuses on the wrong things, the wrong people, and the wrong parts of its world.
I mean, it's kind of telling that you and me, our favorite parts of the series are the parts that have nothing to do with Master Chef.
Yeah, like, Master Chief is a bad character. He is not a character, by
But here's the
definition.
thing. Even if he was a good character, I would still prefer stuff like this.
Yeah, like, and so he's not a good character. He's barely a character as it is. The stories he stars in are badly written, badly told, derivative of other media and themselves, and it's just, like, so tiring to see Master Chief on a video game cover. And I know I'm in the minority when I say that. I know everybody's hyped for Infinite at time of recording. And big thing, Master Chief, oh, he's back. He's got new armor. Oh, Master Chief's armor. When a character is most defined by how much you like what armor he's wearing, admit that he has no personality. But like,
I don't know anything about the story of Halos 4 and 5, but I do know that they are more like Chief saving everyone nonsense, right?
you are going to have a hell of a time with the story of Halo 4.
I can't wait. But that's the thing, right? And I'm sure at the time I'll be like popping off and freaking out and, you know, sounding giddy at making fun of the story, having fun with it, right? But yeah, ultimately when it comes to telling a story, can we please stop being obsessed with like hero protagonist has to be in every single entry in the series to the detriment of any narrative we're trying to tell?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? Like, you're talking about the smaller stories. You like ODST, I like Reach. We both agree on that front. It's the same with, and this is going to go into the conversation I'll have about extended universes at the beginning of Reach. Spoilers. Superhero movies, I believe, are at their best when the threat is low. Like, my favorite superhero movie ever is Mystery Men.
Yeah.
Followed by The Incredibles, followed by Spider-Man 2. And you know what all those villainous plans they have to stop are? I won't go into details, but here's what they aren't: saving the world.
They're always, that's the thing, when the villain has a very personal, if you have like a dedicated, here's the villain character, when they have a very personal motive, it's always a lot better than a very vague and general motive. I'm going to conquer the world. Okay. Cool. I read about Alexander in the history books. You know, I know how this story goes.
Or like, you know, let's obviously, like the Marvel movies or not, admit that they earned Infinity War.
They did, because they built up to it.
Like DC movies or not, admit that they did nothing to earn Justice League.
They certainly did not.
Like, I'm stuck a little bit. The thing about it is that, like, my favorite of the... Let's even contain it to the Marvel movies. My favorite of the Marvel movies are the ones that are, like, smaller scale, not about the end of the world. Spider-Man Homecoming. They're generally pretty okay with it, but they've had some others where they weren't as good about it. Winter Soldier is probably my favorite, if not Thor
Yeah.
Ragnarok.
Yeah. So that's the funny. So Winter Soldier, you could argue that it has like world-ending stakes by the end of it, but the movie isn't about that. The movie is about the very personal stakes, right?
Yeah.
Between Captain America and the titular soldier of Cold. And Thor Ragnarok, aside from like the character development in that movie, ultimately amounts to nothing. Like if you discount the character development, which I think is important.
I just think it's a very fun movie, very well made.
Yes.
Romeo, take the one on the left. I got it. Hold her steady.
But yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I'd rather have the smaller story and building up to something that is earned.
Come on.
Pieces of a larger puzzle.
Because here's the thing, if you start with it will kill the universe, where do you go?
You can't.
So Halo 1 started with if the Covenant turn on the Halo, it will kill the universe, and this is their goal. And then Halo 2 had to start with the Covenant forgetting that the Halo was a weapon that would kill the universe. But they still wanted to turn it on.
That thing's safe?
Long as it don't get hit.
Come on! Damn it! Move!
Oh, nuts.
He doesn't want to go on the Phantom because, you know.
Just say please. It looks
I
so
like how he
bad.
he rolls around.
It was a hell of a night.
In closing, because there is a cutscene, yeah, smaller stories kind of paradoxically have more ground they can cover. Because you don't have to worry about the highest stakes ever.
It's important. It knows things.
Heck, honey.
Oh, personal
I wasn't
stakes.
talking about the alien.
Mickey, I'm sending you a very special co-pilot.
Oh, come on! I don't want one of those things in here.
It won't bite, and unlike you, it knows what to tell those cruisers to keep them off our tail.
I think they're too busy to care.
Hey, look.
Looks like they found what they're looking for.
What about you? What about us?
Win this war? Then ask me that again.
So this is also a lot better at telling what happens between Halo 2 and 3.
Okay, so I do see a little bit at the top there. The arc is partially,
Yeah.
or the arc portal generator is partially uncovered. Does that mean that New Mombasa was just like flat out gone by the time of
Yes.
Halo 3? Okay.
Yeah. Because the city you go to in Halo 3 is on the outskirts of... Like, it's a different
Yes.
city altogether.
It's
It's like
Void.
Voy or... Yeah.
Well, I guess
So, yeah.
that was ODST.
Yeah, that was ODST.
I liked it.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? It's not necessarily the best.
Oh, there's
But,
another cutscene. 1 month.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
So this is after Halo 3.
Kind of.
Oh,
Lord
look, there
Hood
he
may have
is.
given you clearance, but it was my op and it's my interrogation.
Not quite.
We only
Oh.
captured one. It's very delicate.
Don't worry. I know what the alien's like.
Ha, 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 ha.
Yep.
It has access to the Covenant BattleNet.
Limited, but yes. We're not entirely sure how it manages a remote connection to the... What?
Whoa, stand down, stand down!
Sergeant Major, please. It's extremely flammable.
The brutes.
So
The
hydrogen
bastards who put
based.
bombs on your buddies and
Yeah.
killed millions of my people. They're digging a mighty big hole. You're gonna tell me exactly what they're looking for.
What?
And then you're gonna help me stop them.
Yeah.
1 month? What the fuck?
Yep.
So, I'm sorry. Even given the timeline we know of Halo 2
Yep.
and 3, Master Chief spent a month in orbit around the Earth?
Yep.
Does Bungie know what time is?
I'm afraid
In general?
not, no.
Okay, well that's stupid. That is absolutely fucking stupid.
Yep. That's the final gut punch on the timeline making no goddamn sense.
That's so fucking stupid. Way to shoot your entire franchise in the foot. What the fuck?
It's very silly.
Master Chief was hanging on to the stupid Eiffel Tower for 30 goddamn days. He's just like checking his watch constantly. Maybe that's why he jumps off, because he's just like, fuck it, it's been a month. I gotta use the bathroom.
It took him a month to finish the fight, sir.
Good God. Like, I could see 1 day.
Yeah.
1 month?
Well, it's very goofy. I'm not even gonna try to like
That's
play devil's
terrible.
advocate here. But that's the thing. Ultimately, that's a footnote on the story of ODST. Like I was saying towards the end there, I think ODST is a much better follow-up to Halo 2 than Halo 3 ever was. And it did a lot more with the systems introduced in Halo 3 than Halo 3 did.
Yeah, it sure did. It has more interesting levels, more interesting enemy encounters.
Yeah, and for a game set pretty much entirely within a single city, does a good job of having varied locations, like objective types, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it did.
ODST also introduced Firefight, which would be expanded upon in Reach. And yeah, I just think it's as goofy as the writing can be, as hokey as it can be. I think it's just a lot of good fun, and there is a sense of fun to it that I think the mainline Halo games lost, if they ever had it to begin with. You know, it doesn't have the same sort of like stoic gravitas. It certainly goes for a kind of quiet melancholy when you're exploring around the ruined city, but
Yeah, which isn't... Again, we're talking about like what a franchise can earn, right?
yeah,
Halo
Yes.
started off trying to be this like grand, expansive, literal end of the universe threat, and it's just like, I don't know who these people are, I don't know who these aliens are, I don't know what their capabilities are, and you're telling me I should be afraid of them, but we always win every combat encounter because I'm the protagonist. You're telling me I'm a super badass super soldier who's done a lot of stuff, but nobody ever talks about it to me, and I'm just like supposed to believe you. This definitely did feel more like you are in a drop and it goes wrong, salvage it.
well, that's the thing. Your squad get maybe 3 lines of dialogue each before the game starts off proper, right? And you immediately feel their absence upon the beginning of the game, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel alone at the beginning of Halo 1 when you crash land and everyone's dead?
No?
No. Because what are the random Marines in the pod with you? Who gives a shit?
You know what I felt
Are there
alone?
any characters? Yeah.
Unreal. When you spend the entire first level, like, what can be a good 20 minutes of gameplay, crawling on your own through the crashed Vortex Rikers, listening to faraway screams that are always owned by a dead body by the time you get there, knowing that something else is still on the ship with you, hearing the alerts and reading the last like updates from the computers as to what happened, and then stepping out onto Napali and being like, okay, now we're doing this.
And I didn't bring it up while we were playing. I wanted you to sort of just digest the game on its own. But ODST kind of comes a lot closer to being similar to that first Unreal game in terms of like concept, at least, not necessarily execution. But I feel when you're wandering around the city streets alone as the rookie and you're like looking at burnt out cars and shot up walls and graffiti talking about resisting the alien, that it creates a very interesting kind of mood, right?
It does.
And I think that that's a step above anything that we have gotten in terms of like world building in the storytelling of the Halo games, right? Because the mainline Halo games, up until this game and Reach, were always just about John Chiefman, right? And everything around him was just, oh, cool sci-fi military stuff. Whereas this game tries to really hammer home the human element of the story. Like, the city of Voy gets glassed when the Flood land in it, right? And all we ever really get is, oh, you guys destroyed a city, how dare you? Oh, we had to, otherwise they would have consumed your whole planet.
We get Lord Hood appearing out of nowhere to give exactly one stern line of dialogue to the shipmaster, and then the threat is solved and we leave.
Whereas this game takes what was also very quickly brushed aside in Halo 2 and gives it a very human face, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not the subtlest in terms of the way it handles that, but I appreciate it. And I think that I would have liked to have seen more of that in Reach. Because they have it a bit in Reach, right? There's a couple of missions where they do it, but generally it's still just about the Spartans trying to fight off the aliens.
I don't want to get too much into Reach at the moment, but I think Halo Reach succeeds for me more than it might for you, and I am very excited to talk about why I feel that way when we come back next week with the start of Halo Reach.
So please look forward to that.
Please do, and do the YouTube stuff. Talk to us in the comments and subscribe with the little button. I don't give a shit if you ring the bell. These go up Wednesdays, 12 p.m. Eastern. There you go, I've rung the bell for you. You know, apply your own daylight savings time. If you, there have been 2 instances where the video's been a little late. YouTube getting some problems sometimes, but you know. Other than that, yeah. So that was ODST. I'm glad I was able to play it finally.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I'm glad. I am glad. You don't have to love it, but I'm glad you enjoyed it, really. Next time, we will be even further back in the past. We'll go back to where it all began.
Yeah. We get to talk about continuity problems. That's for next time.
Boy. Oh, that's gonna be fun. See you then.
See you then. Thanks for watching.